Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's explainer. We're putting a brand new contender in the smartphone space right under the microscope. We're doing a complete chapter-wise review of the newly launched Redmi 17C 5G. This phone just made its debut in Singapore, and honestly, it's generating a ton of buzz. Why? Well, because it's kind of aiming to completely rewrite the rulebook on what a budget-friendly device can actually offer. So, let's break this whole thing down together. To make sure we cover every critical detail, we'll be tackling this in 5 distinct chapters today. First up, display and design, then processing power, camera capabilities, battery life, and finally, price and verdict.
This right here perfectly sets up our whole narrative for today. The Redmi 17C 5G really isn't just another cheap phone. It's designed specifically to solve some of the most annoying pain points for everyday users. I mean, we're talking about those incredibly slow, laggy screens and batteries that just straight up die before dinner. Xiaomi is making a pretty bold promise here that entry to mid-tier doesn't have to mean compromising on the absolute essentials. Chapter 1, Display and Design. Okay, I want to start right here with this number, 120. In the budget smartphone world, seeing a 120 Hz refresh rate is just, well, it's incredibly rare. Yet, here we are. This means that whether you're scrolling through social media, swiping through menus, or just browsing articles, you're getting this ultra-smooth, fluid experience that honestly usually belongs to flagship devices. And that 120 Hz refresh rate, it's happening on a massive canvas. We're looking at a huge 6.9-inch HD Plus display. But what's genuinely interesting here isn't just the sheer size, it's the usability. It packs up to 810 nits of brightness, which means, you can actually read your texts outside in the bright sun. Add in a snappy 240 Hz touch sampling rate, plus crucial eye comfort features like DC dimming to kill screen flicker and TÜV Rheinland certifications to cut down harmful blue light. And yeah, you've basically got a screen built for heavy, comfortable daily use. So the real question is how all this translates to real life, right? Enter Wet Touch Technology 2.0. Think about how annoying it is when you're trying to follow a recipe on your phone while cooking and suddenly the screen stops working just because your fingers are a tiny bit oily or damp. Or say you're caught in a light rain trying to answer a text. This technology ensures the screen remains perfectly responsive through all of that, essentially eliminating a massive everyday frustration. Moving around to the back of the device, you can totally see Xiaomi paid special attention to the aesthetics here. It doesn't look like a cheap plastic slab at all. You've got these really nice textured finishes, like the elegant brown and vibrant purple variants, alongside a classic black. And despite its large size, it maintains a remarkably slim 8.05mm profile, weighing in at a super manageable 211 grams. Rounding out our design chapter, let's take a quick look at some very practical hardware inclusions. The IP64 rating is a fantastic bonus at this price point. It gives you legitimate protection against everyday dust and accidental water splashes. For security, you get a quick side-mounted fingerprint sensor and AI face unlock. And for all you audiophiles out there, they kept the 3.5mm headphone jack. Plus, they've even thrown in a feature that allows a 200% volume boost for those times when you literally just need that extra kick, along with classic FM radio support. Chapter 2, Processing Power. All right, let's look under the hood. The brains of the operation here is the MediaTek Dimensity 6300 system on a chip. This is an octa-core processor built on a highly efficient 6nm process. What does that actually mean for you? It essentially means it runs faster while sipping way less battery power. Paired up with the Mali G57 MC2 GPU, this chipset is more than capable of handling your everyday tasks, your multitasking, and even some casual gaming without breaking a sweat. It's just a really smart, efficient choice. Supporting that processor, we've got the memory configurations. The base model features 4GB of LPDDR4X RAM paired with a really generous 128GB of UFS 2.2 onboard storage. That translates to significantly faster app loading times and file transfers. Now, Xiaomi does note that configurations might differ a bit by region. There is a 64GB variant floating out there. But regardless of the base storage you get, it supports microSD expansion, so you're never going to have to worry about running out of space for your photos and apps. But the real star of the show internally is the connectivity. Despite this super budget-friendly price tag, you are absolutely not being left behind in the 4G era. The Redmi 17C brings full 5G support right to the table alongside dual SIM capabilities. It also packs the latest Bluetooth 5.4, NFC for all your contactless payments, and a highly comprehensive navigation suite utilizing GPS, GLONASS, Galileo, and Beidou. Basically, it has the whole shebang when it comes to wireless tech to keep you connected.
Chapter 3. Camera Capabilities. Over on the rear, the Redmi 17C 5G boasts a high-resolution 50-megapixel primary camera featuring a wide f1.8 aperture. Now, that wide aperture is totally crucial because it helps bring in more light, which means much better-looking shots, especially when it's dim. It supports 1080p video recording at 30 frames per second, and Xiaomi has included their full suite of essential software features, so you've got HDR, night mode, and portrait modes to really make those photos pop.
Flipping over to the front, nestled neatly right in that water drop notch, is an 8-megapixel selfie camera. It perfectly handles everything from your daily video calls to quick social media updates, and it also supports 1080p and 720p video recording. And bridging the gap between all this hardware and your actual daily experience is, of course, the software. In a very pleasant surprise, this phone ships running Xiaomi's cutting-edge HyperOS 3, which is actually based on Android 16. This means you are getting a deeply optimized, fresh, and highly responsive software environment literally right out of the box.
Chapter 4. Battery Life.
Okay, 6,000. I just want you to take a second to really appreciate that number. Most flagship phones costing, 4 times as much, are usually hovering around the 5,000 mark. This represents a massive 6,000 milliamp hour battery for truly unparalleled endurance. This right here, this is the ultimate solution to that dreaded low battery anxiety. With 6,000 milliamp hours, paired with that highly efficient 6-nanometer processor we talked about, you aren't just getting through a full day of heavy use. You are very likely pushing well into your second day before you even have to start looking for a charger. But hey, it's not just about the raw size. It's about the entire power ecosystem. When you finally do need to plug in, it supports 33W fast charging via USB Type-C, so you can get that massive battery topped up quickly. But here's the real kicker. Xiaomi states this battery is engineered for long-term longevity. It can retain at least 80% of its capacity even after 1,000 full charge cycles. That means you get years of reliable use before the battery degrades to the point of being a frustration.
Chapter 5. Price and Verdict.
So let's look at the final tally. For the 4 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabyte storage configuration, the Redmi 17C 5G is priced at just 279 Singapore dollars, which is roughly 20,900 Indian rupees. When you step back and look at the whole package, the value proposition here is genuinely incredible. You're getting future-proof 5G connectivity, a really elegant design, a 50-megapixel camera, and those 2 massive standout features, a buttery-smooth 120Hz display and that staggering 6,000 milliamp hour battery, all for a truly entry-level price.
Which naturally leads us to this final thought. When you weigh the incredible specs we just unpacked against that $279 price tag, does the Redmi 7C set a new unbeatable standard for budget 5G endurance? It absolutely raises the bar for what we should expect from budget devices going forward. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. I really hope this chapter-wise breakdown brought the facts to life for you. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep learning.